showing upcoming, but it's not, oh, there it is.
There it is.
So we're on?
We're on.
Yep.
All right.
And
Who's
it's
got the fastest
1 minute.
internet?
That's right.
Got it done in time.
Yeah.
Under the wire.
Yep. Okay, all right, so welcome everyone to the June 13th Pawling Joint Sewer Commission meeting. If you could please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, hopefully everyone's had a chance to read the minutes. Can I get a motion for the May meeting minutes?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. And can I get a motion to approve the May treasurer's report as presented?
I'll make the motion.
No second?
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the May vouchers as presented and any prepaid vouchers in the amount of $86,249.55. Do I have a second?
No second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion to transfer $86,249.55 from the O&M account to the checking account to pay the May vouchers and prepaid vouchers. Do I have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion to transfer $309.23 from the Thompson escrow account to the checking account to pay the tie sales invoice.
No second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now I need to learn how to speak. All right, so we need some budget modifications. So I'm gonna make a motion to transfer $962.20 from the contingency line A19904 to the administrative line 13042.4 to cover the cost of municipal solutions for review of the AFR and attendance via phone at our May meeting and in person regarding the accounting assistance.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Safety ladder update. So I'm not sure where we left off, but we attempted to put the safety ladder into the digester?
Into the post-aeration.
Post-aeration tank.
Post-EQ, I'm sorry.
Okay. See, I'm not the only one that doesn't. And that was not successful because it was, the way it was designed was not in the best location. We already had a gate in the railing over on the other side, but it wouldn't fit there because of the deep lip. So then where it was being proposed, you would have had to try to safely get over the railing or now spend money to put a gate in there, but the bigger problem was it would require you to go onto a membrane roof. And you don't want to step on a membrane roof, because then you're gonna damage it. So, so we are now looking into it. Unfortunately, that was, done specifically for us, the ladder. It's not a buy off the shelf ladder. So we're going to look at the possibility of modifying the ladder, figuring out a different tact.
You're moving it into a different location. To make a safer entry onto, instead of going onto the roof, we have a couple ideas. Brian's coming down, I wanna discuss them with him. Possibly, make hopefully some inexpensive modifications to the ladder so we can use it.
It's
I
a
think
big
it could
question
work
mark.
if we use our senses and Brian's input on the job, but hopefully we could utilize it or come up with a different idea.
Yeah. So,
To put it where you wanted to put it, is it a lot of modification?
What the safety part of is putting it down onto the floor, which is into the tank, which is not a big deal.
Right.
But you would have to climb over a railing, so you'd have to put a gate in.
Right.
Then you would have to you'd have to put a matting down on top of the roof so you're
Right,
not
so that's
walking.
not gonna-
And then on top of that, you would have to put a guardrail around the perimeter of the roof where the ladder is going down. You're looking at a small fortune.
Yeah. Okay.
so we're hoping it's a
That's
smaller
some-
fortune to
smaller
modify
fortune.
it where it
Yeah.
should be, but
Okay.
it wasn't spec'd out
Correct.
correctly, or we're not sure what happened. But because it was custom made, we tried to return it,
Yeah.
and we got told since it's custom, we couldn't return it. So we're gonna try to do the best we can.
Now, modifying it, do we have someone that will do that, or how do we go about doing it?
We would have to get a hold of 3 contractors,
Okay.
show them what we need to do. In the same token too, it's an aluminum ladder that's going into a very hostile environment.
Right.
I've seen other aluminum ladders maybe last 15, 20 years being in that kind of environment.
Sure.
It might be a little bit easier on this one since it is, cleaner effluent going through the
Mhm.
filters. But again, it's aluminum and water, and after a
Yeah,
while,
after a
you know
while,
what's
yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
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 So if we're gonna modify it, one of the things that we did talk about is modifying it in a way that it's almost like, down in the city, the fire escape ladders that go
Mhm.
up
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
not using them, and then you can
Yeah.
drop them when you are
Mhm.
using them, so that it's not constantly
Right, in
in
there.
the effluent,
Yeah.
so to be continued, I just at least
Yeah.
wanted to update the commission on where we were at with that, so
Is
that
that
you
something you
know.
might look at on Friday?
I don't think that's on the schedule for tomorrow.
It's not on the schedule, but
No.
if we could sneak it in,
I'm not sure if Brian's coming tomorrow. Brian, are you coming tomorrow, or is it just John?
huh?
Yes, I'm coming, because I gotta wrap up the grant up here.
Yeah.
We're dividing the conference.
Yes, okay,
So I
so,
can be down there next week, it's not a big deal.
yeah.
He's
So-
coming down.
Next week.
Is he coming down?
No,
No.
not
Oh,
tomorrow.
John is, yeah.
So-
Who designed the ladder?
It's a
So who
Who spec'd it?
it was Labella.
Well, can we get Labella to assume some responsibility?
Well, that's something that I think we will have Joe look into.
I mean, I think that would make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I
I think
mean,
once we
why
have-
should we be?
I don't think it was spec'd correctly for
Well,
the
then
location,
we should
so.
pay for it.
Yeah, I think once we get an idea of the cost and what the plan B is going to be to fix it, then I think we should go, I agree, that we should go
yeah,
after them.
I agree.
Okay, so we'll have Joe look into that. First, we gotta figure out what the plan might be. And I don't know if we wanna start that conversation with them or wait until we have a plan to then, I don't know how he's gonna wanna proceed with that, but.
I mean, first step would be looking at the contract. So, that review can be done at any time, even if you don't take action on it.
Okay,
He can at least tell you what the options are.
okay,
Yeah.
great, okay, thank you.
I would imagine we void any kind of warranty we had if we modify this thing, right?
Well,
There's no.
Presumably,
there's no
yes.
warranty.
There's no
Oh, there was no
warranty.
warranty.
It's 2 years
We
old.
had it
Oh,
sitting in
Okay.
dry storage for
Okay.
2 years, so
So
I
we
think
don't,
we
we
already.
don't worry about it then.
Yeah.
Modify
So-
it away.
Yeah, so, anyway. Okay, reference, any other discussion? I'm sorry, before I move
No,
on
I
to
think
that.
it's important to note the reason it sat for 2 years was, we didn't receive it, just let it sit there. We had,
No.
there was a lot involved with
You have to get crane and.
the logistics of getting it.
Yes, so that's the other thing. In order to put it in,
Yeah, I
we
remember.
had to hire a crane, and the crane we hired for 2 purposes. One of them was this ladder, and we started to put it in with the crane, and then we
Right, I remember
had to
that.
shut it down, so. So that's the unfortunate thing too, is it's gonna cost some money to put this thing in.
Time too, if it sat for 2 years because we couldn't get a crane, I mean,
So. All right. Reference 37.24, letter from Synagro regarding the EPA designation of PFAS chemicals, PFOAs and PFOSs. So Synagro had let us know that we were gonna have to be concerned about this, but Synagro is also located in Connecticut. So after a small heart attack, we were able to recover and realize that New York isn't drilled in on this just yet. However, it is coming, just a matter of time. But the other thing that I want to bring up is that we've been, Labella has we have a contract with Labella to design a receiving station. So moving forward, the way that we're gonna be moving forward with any newer tie-ins to our sewer, it is going to be step stag, which means you're going to, so say, because I don't have sewer at my property, so if it was mine, we would continue to use my septic tank for the solids. There'd be a smaller pipe for liquids that would come to the sewer plant. We would then have to have some pump, a septic hauler, pump out my septic tank, and then bring it to the receiving station to properly dispose of it. That's not so bad for us here. The problem is, we also thought it was an opportunity for a partnership with some of these septic haulers to provide another location for them to be dumping their loads from outside of the village and outside of the town. The problem is, I don't know what the requirements and testing requirements and anything else that's going to be down the pike on these PFOAs and PFOSs. So now that's gonna bring into question whether we're gonna have an issue with this receiving station for receiving outside of our, but even inside, I'm not even sure if we have to be, we're probably so. Just a heads up that this is coming, but it's not imminent right at the moment, but it will be coming, so. Anybody have any questions?
I mean, if
Not sure that I
something
can
does
answer them, but-
come of it, does that change our plans with the service station? Or would we still go through with that?
You mean the receiving station?
Receiving station, I'm sorry.
I think we still have to move forward with it because we're planning on doing the step stag
Right.
system. So,
The stagnant's already there.
yeah, so I don't know how we would not do
Right.
it. But what we might have to do is limit and not have the outside
Right.
companies be, or until we know what it's all gonna entail, I guess we'll stay tuned.
Play it by ear.
Yeah.
But we were kind of relying on.
DEC is going around, actually, I got the announcement, some of our plants more north here. They're actually gonna do some testing, sampling, they're like in a very, I think preliminary testing stage, they're just seeing how much is out there, where it's coming from, so there's gonna be some time before we know what they're gonna be looking at for enforcement and the numbers that they'll be trying to enforce.
But either way, it's coming and it's gonna
Yes.
adjust on how we handle our sludge. We have to
Yes.
hold on to it longer, dry it longer.
Yep, it's gotta be tested, so now do we have to have multiple dumpsters or something holding it for test results and, so there's just, so,
Yeah.
just giving you a heads up that it is coming and I don't know exactly how fast it's coming at us, but it will be here, so. So as you know, we, just approved the moving of the money to pay for municipal solutions. We had them look at all of our accounting. As you know that we have had nothing but problems with RBT as our accountant. So along with municipal solutions, he brought in John Savash, who works with other municipalities, and he actually teaches municipal accounting at, I forgot what university, but at a university. So not only is he doing municipal accounting, he teaches it. So he came down with Jeff Smith from Municipal Solutions when we did an in-house day of looking at the sewer commission's books and everything that we do here, and John is able to pick us up as a client, and I think it is absolutely, I'm thrilled with the idea, and it will be at a much reduced cost from what we've been paying RBT.
Good.
Good.
So when,
So-
And his expected time frame for getting monthly reports,
Yeah, right.
Yes, we can get them in a,
reasonable time.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
reasonable fashion.
We just recently, Sarah, just to let you know, we just recently got December's from RBT.
Oh, okay. Timely.
So,
And he's also gonna be working directly with Christine on the new QuickBooks.
yes,
Right, and we'll be doing that that'll be online live between the two of us, which is
Right.
nice. He doesn't have to come down here.
yep, so
to
that brings,
see
lowers
what's
the
going on.
cost for, you
Right.
know. So this is his proposal, hopefully everyone's had a chance
Yeah,
to
yeah.
review it. But I would like to move in that direction, so I don't know if anybody has any questions regarding his proposal?
No, I mean, I had a chance to look through it, it seems pretty cut and dry. You know, we've been using RBT for a very long time. I'm sorry to part ways with them, but I think it's time to move on. And,
Yeah.
and he comes very highly recommended, so.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we've been using Jeff Smith from Municipal Solutions to help us with all our financing when it comes to the grants and everything. And he's great, and so Jeff Smith highly recommends John. I guess they've worked together for years.
And I guess what's important is he came down and met with you, met with
Yep.
Christine, you guys were comfortable working with him?
Yes,
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, for sure.
yep,
Good.
yep. So, anybody have any other questions or anything?
Well, if we were to, how would we go about this, like, how long, we're no longer in contract with RBT?
We have no contract with him.
So
No.
if we wanted to, we can actually start July 1st, let's say? I mean, is that, or,
I don't see why we couldn't.
Yeah.
I thought he said
June.
June,
Well, it
July,
says
June
June.
through December.
Yeah,
He said it depends, he's
Yeah.
ready to do it whenever
Yeah,
we're ready.
so it's-
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, as long as we approve it tonight, we can then let
Right.
him know, and then whenever he can start, he starts. So,
Prove it.
And it'll be a yearly contract?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep, so if we decide in a year that this isn't working, you know, then we'll revisit this.
I mean, we're in no worse spot
No.
than we were, so we should.
All right, so someone wanna make a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion.
And I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Well, I'll bring it up at the end. I had a question in reference, you were talking about Jeff Smith, but I'll wait till the
Oh.
end.
Okay. All right, reference 40.24, this is a proposal from G&G Municipal Consulting and Grant Writing. This is to do the income survey that we need for the WIA grant for the trunk line that we received the funding for. So in order to secure 0% financing for outside of the grant, we have to show the hardship, so we have to do an income survey. So we did an income survey with them last year, I think it was, for water, so the village did it. And so we don't need to do those customers again. What we have to do is pick up the sewer customers that aren't also water customers. So anybody that we missed with that survey is what we have to do to make it complete for this. So we have worked with him. Originally it was a good bit higher than this, and I will give kudos to Christine. She went back and forth with Jay multiple times for him to understand that since you only did it a year ago, we found that that was acceptable for us to be able to use that he needed to trim down his costs. So this is as low as we could get him.
Yeah, it sounds like you tried to work him quite a bit. No, I believe it, but based on the way his response,
Oh,
yes, I got it.
yes. She
Loud
worked
and-
hard.
Loud and clear. I think it's
So-
important to note that, I hate to differentiate between the village and the sewer commission, but the survey that's being accepted was paid for by the village on behalf of the water. correct?
Correct,
So the village paid for that part of the survey.
correct.
Had we had not done that, the sewer commission would be on the hook.
Would be on the hook for the
for
whole thing,
Yeah.
At least twice as much,
Yeah.
if not more.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Does anybody have any other questions regarding this?
No.
No?
So I'll make a motion to approve this proposal for $6,250 to get this income survey done.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, reference 4124, proposal for Baxter Green fence repair from RRB Contracting. John, do you wanna speak to
Sure.
this?
Yeah, we have had an ongoing issue there with that fence. It has blown over a couple of times under high wind conditions. There's a problem with the retaining wall that's there, it's sinking a little bit. So it's gonna be a little bit uneven. We had Putnam Handyman who did some of the work initially, actually who put the new fence up. They're indicating that a long-term permanent solution would be to redo the retaining wall. That's like a $20,000 item, which we don't have the money for.
Right.
I consulted with Andre Bellinger, who is my neighbor, but he's a contractor, and his son Roger. They went out, looked at it, they will brace all of the columns there, or all the posts. They will replace all of the panels that need to be done for $2,400. He'll stand by it. I mean, he's a very reliable contractor.
I know, I met him personally.
Yeah,
I know he
yeah.
does great work. I've
Yeah.
seen some of
Yeah.
his projects, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's not gonna last 25 years, but it's gonna last probably 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Hopefully longer than a couple of years that.
Yeah,
These-
yeah.
Yeah,
Every post is gonna have a brace on it, so it's not gonna blow over.
okay. That's
So I
great.
would recommend that we approve him.
Okay, anybody have any questions or discussion on it? John, you wanna make the motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve RRB Contracting to repair the Baxter Green pump station fencing.
And I'll second it.
All right, all in
Thank you.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, John, for that. Okay, reference 43.24, customer 20228, request a waiver of penalty in the amount of $31.98.
I'll make the motion to approve the waiver.
And I'll second that, based on her payment history.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. The next item was something that we had just received, so Christine sent it out earlier today, so I'm not sure that everybody saw it. And Christine, do you want to speak to it?
Yeah. So John Costello is with Constellation, he works directly for Constellation, he's not a broker. We're no longer
Yeah,
using the broker.
yes.
And so this is what he has proposed, is to lock in, because we're done July 11th, I think. And when I looked at this, so to me, I think we'd be better off just to stay with a 13-month commitment. Because if you go further than that, and you go into the 17-month, then you're having to look, you know, in December to reprice again, and that's when things are much higher
Yeah.
for electric. At least if we do the 13-month, we'll only have that small commitment, and then we can look at it again.
It also is right on top of our budget, getting approved and all that in December, so I'd rather not.
Yeah, I mean, you can go further into locking in, you know, into 2026, but when you do that, you know, the price goes up because they're having to guarantee something out into the future that they can't really predict.
Right, so it's padded
So,
to absorb,
yeah.
yeah.
So I feel that 13 months would be the.
And we're saving quite a bit by using this.
Overall, it's about a $5,000 savings between all of the 20 accounts, which
It adds up.
But do they-
you could say it's
It
not a
does.
lot, but it's $5,000, so.
Are they able to really justify, I'm not opposed to what you're
No,
proposing,
I know, I'm with
but
you.
are they really able to justify and substantiate that savings? I have never understood this whole process.
you know, if you want to call this man and
No,
talk
I
to
don't.
him, because when he's, I keep telling him you have to dumb it down, because I'm,
Yeah.
you know, he's talking about
Yeah.
things that are just way
And
beyond.
they switch from kilowatts
Yeah,
to
kilowatts,
kilowatts.
yeah.
I mean, I would love
And
to
you can't compare
have,
apples
I'd
to
love to
oranges.
have that guy there and NICEAG here at the same
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And I would love for them to battle it out, because
Yes.
I don't understand it,
So I can tell you, when you look at that total price, when you see the 94.97 that's highlighted in yellow,
Mhm.
he said to me, it's really $9.49. And I said, but why does it say $94.97? Well, it's just how they figure it out, and I'm like,
Shell game.
yeah, I'm not opposed to it, but
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I will be honest.
I mean, I have
don't
not done it
either.
for my business, and I wouldn't do it for my house, so.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I would make the motion to move forward with it.
For the 14 month?
The 13 months,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're all a little fuzzy on that.
Yeah.
So, all right, so with James not being here, we usually get some kind of an update, regarding the woods and ASPCA. Brian, do you have anything? Have you been in touch with either one?
With which two, Lori? I'm sorry.
Castagna, the woods, and the ASPCA project?
No, we haven't been involved with those,
Okay.
no.
Okay, so, so I don't have any updates, regarding those.
I can only tell you, that I know that they just did their lottery of picking.
Oh, for the people that are gonna
tenants.
move into the woods?
Yeah,
Okay,
they did that, and they have 4 of their 5 meters installed.
okay,
3 are online for billing, the 4th one has not been put online yet.
okay. And do we have an ETA on the 5th, or?
They were thinking that they wouldn't have that building finished until sometime in late summer, probably
Okay.
into the fall.
Okay,
That's what I heard.
all right. Anybody else have anything regarding those?
No?
No? Okay. All right, sorry, Sarah, is
Yep.
there any attorney report?
I do, as you know, I'm filling in for Joe tonight. He did send an update. He says that he has reached out to the town's council a number of times, specifically since February up through today, for an update on legalizing sewer district number 2, Cedar Valley. And he reached out yesterday. Yesterday he received a response saying that the attorney was quote unquote working on it. He's hopeful that means that the town is developing a plan for properly establishing the district, but he's still waiting and seeing.
It's pretty vague. Working on it can mean she's still researching it. They were researching it 8 months ago.
Yeah,
Right.
not much has happened.
Yeah, really no significant update from the town.
And our concern is that, I'm gonna assume that the residents of Cedar Valley are unaware of this not being legally set up. So should there be something that goes wrong at Cedar Valley, you know, that's gonna be a legal mess, because it doesn't, our responsibility starts
Right.
when it leaves
Right.
their property, so I believe that would then go to the town. Any issues, the town would have to resolve, because it hasn't been legally set up for the sewer commission anyway, so.
Does anybody know, do they have an HOA there? Does anybody know?
Yes.
I'm-
Yes.
Can you, I don't know, we'll have to talk to Joe and see what his recommendation, maybe we send a letter to the HOA,
Right, just informing them of the status.
informing them so that they can now
They
talk
can
to
put
the
a
town, maybe the
little
town will
pressure on
talk
the
to them,
town.
since they're not discussing it with us.
Okay.
That might be, a good tack.
Yeah, I mean, there's been no issues there, it's a matter of when something does happen.
Yeah.
You know, once we became aware, and it actually came up during the IMA discussions, I think.
Yeah, and speaking of those,
Well, that's a different topic, but nonetheless, I mean, when we became aware of it, we've been trying to hash
yes,
it out.
we have been trying to hash that out. So, and with those negotiations that, you know, we were going to, the town was gonna reach out to us after our meeting the last month to set up more meetings for that, because, you know, we're in a critical situation of we do not have enough funds for O&M. And we desperately need to raise the rates. And I'm not sure, you know, they haven't approved, the town hasn't approved our commission's budget.
Acknowledged.
Do
It had to be approved, acknowledged.
Do we have to have the IMA in place in order to raise rates?
Well,
I don't know, that's gonna be another Joe question, but I think we really need to look at what can we do, because I don't think we can last much longer in this scenario, because we're
gonna have to
we're
raise
running
rates.
dry.
Yeah, we're gonna have to raise the rates.
So,
well, I was gonna actually speak to that, but I was gonna wait until at the end,
okay,
so I don't know.
okay.
I don't mean to cut, because I have questions and I do want to discuss.
No, I got
them.
you. I got questions too.
But, you know, I see that we're still doing
Yeah, I
attorney
got
reports, so I don't
Oh,
wanna.
all right,
I'm
so,
sorry.
no, I think I went rogue,
Yeah.
sorry. So is there anything else, Sarah, that you had?
That was all that I was told to relay tonight.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you. Engineers report, Brian, do you have anything that you wanna say?
Yeah, I talked with Dan Tompkins over at Trinity Pawling about the I&I, and the repairs they're gonna be doing this season.
Yep.
And they committed to do repairs and mostly replace that clay tile line from Cluett Hall down to Scully Hall, you know, their dining room there.
Yep,
They're gonna replace that entire section from the flag pole down. They're gonna replace it, and they're gonna replace one of the intermediate manholes that they say is pretty deteriorated. Then on the other side, so that's gonna fix that, which is a large contributor. Then we're gonna lend them a manhole, whether it's gonna be one from the sewer plant or one of Cedarwood's. We're gonna let them borrow a flow meter to do a final kind of I&I data collection, see what the flows are in that lower lawn area, because I think that's another kind of bad area. So they're gonna fix the one spot, we're gonna monitor it. If it's bad, Dan did tell me they'll address it if it comes back with a significant I&I, so.
okay, so I think that's great to be
yeah,
able to
so-
put the meter in there and
Yeah.
see,
Yeah, we'll see. The meter don't lie, hopefully. So.
yeah.
Did they happen to give you a time frame at all for the replacing of the clay pipe from the flagpole down? Did they say when
They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it this summer because they want to do it when the kids are off,
Yeah.
right? So they're moving forward. So
and is that something, Brian, you're gonna put eyes on during the project, or at some point to be sure?
we can, it's private property. I mean, I guess that's up. I can swing by there, have somebody look at it.
Even if they
They're
said,
using a reputable contractor, so that helps.
Yeah,
yeah, even if they were to send you some photographs, just something to be sure it's, up to your standards.
yeah,
Yep.
okay. All right, anything else, Brian?
No, that's it. Like I said, John's coming down tomorrow for water stuff. We're gonna be checking the meters. If he can't get to it tomorrow, I'll be checking the meters. I'll come down next week and check the meters that we have in all the manholes for the collection system I study as well, so.
Okay, all right, thank you, Brian. Anybody have any
Yep.
questions for Brian?
No,
All right,
thanks, Brian.
thanks, Brian.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, last but not least, H2O, everybody has their operations report for May.
Thank you for that.
So,
Yep.
My only comment is that, if you can see, we got significantly less flows. Our rain was not nearly what it was the month before.
Finally,
Yeah, so process has been very well. Other than that, don't really have much.
I stopped by H.A. Shrek today. The pump that we dropped off to have them look at, it's sitting on the bench. I looked at it, and they're waiting to find out they're trying to locate the rebuilding kit for this particular pump. I told him, just keep moving along with it because it is needed so we can get a price on what it's gonna cost. And that was the update from them. And then just gave me a heads up, which Justin knows about the generators. We had Shrek out, and we have a couple generators that apparently, they call them, what was the ants fire
Oh,
ants or
crazy ants, or, yeah, something like that.
some kind of ant got into the circuit boards. So we're gonna get a price on getting them replaced and then putting out some kind of a bait trap for these particular ants. When I was talking to him today, he said that it was a common problem he's been running into with household generators sitting outside along the houses. So that's where we're at with that.
What do the ants do to a circuit board?
He said something about how the wiring is made of some kind of soy product.
Really?
And they go after it.
Go after it, really?
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's all housed, so you can't really see
Yeah,
it
right, you can't
until
see
they're
it, the ants are
already
in there, right, it's
until
too
they're
late, the
already
damage is
above
done.
and beyond. Yeah.
Wow.
Because we check them every single day, the generators.
Yeah.
But yeah, until they really become abundant, you don't really see them.
Yeah, no, I know there's a lot of people complaining of ants, yeah.
Rich, generator, the portable one, is the same issue apply to that, or is that?
No, that's just been sitting in the greenhouse, just.
Okay.
Well, we have two.
So
You
when-
two gotta get
So
together.
when,
Oh, that's right,
The
the cat.
portable one.
yeah,
The cat, I don't know,
It's been used a bit for lower back for our new wells. They've been using it here and there, so I don't think so, because the other ones only run for an hour, where that one's moved around. It's not just sitting on the floor. It's got tires, it's lifted up. So it doesn't seem like it's the same issue.
but the one on the trailer, is it running now?
the one in the greenhouse that you and I looked?
Yeah.
No, has not, I haven't had a chance.
Okay, all right.
That's gonna be a you and my job.
Yeah, you two gotta connect and figure out a plan.
Call me, Rich. Call me.
I know.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, guys. All right, so, before we go into public comment, I'm gonna go, you wanna go first or left?
First.
Go ahead, Jared.
So, I had an opportunity to watch the town board meeting, right before I came in. Unfortunately, I tried last night. The audio was terrible, so I turned it off, and when I watched it today, it got better during the meeting. There was quite a few things that Supervisor Schmidt had brought up that I feel need clarification. Most of which is the history of the IMA. It is 40 years old, it's been around for a long time, we all know that. We all know that there has been addendums added to it through the years. Most recently, a second seat for the town with the chance of an alternate. The reason for the negotiation is we all realize that the IMA is a packet with many addendums and it's hard to read. It doesn't flow properly. Some issues have come up where we need to raise our rates. We need to change our structure on how we bill. And rather than adding different amendments or addendums to the IMA, let's make one document. So we go ahead and start having discussions on one document. We got a lot accomplished during the negotiations with the engineers and the attorneys, and Lori, the mayor, myself, James and Jimbo. And then they started going into the personnel and the makeup of the board, and that's where we're stalled. We've given them numerous ideas of our own that they've not accepted. They've given us their ideas that we have not accepted. The main reason being, and this is where I think the town board needs to be aware, the sewer is owned and bonded by the village, not the town. If the sewer commission falters and doesn't make payments, they don't go after the town users, they don't go after the town, it's the village that is responsible for those bonds. If the town wanted to be involved, the town could have bonded it when we did, and they didn't. And that's ultimately why I'm holding fast on owning the majority as the village board on the sewer commission. That's my personal opinion, and I'm gonna stick with it, and, you know.
Every time that this commission that I'm aware of has had to borrow money for a project, like including the trunk line, it's been the village, because the sewer commission can't reach for financing by itself. It has to be through a municipality. The village has always been the one that steps up and does it, does the bonding. So now all of our taxpayers in the village are held responsible for that borrowing. So that's why, and the majority of the flow is in the village. The town is at best 30% of the flow.
And even when 22 is completed, they're not gonna be at 50%.
No, and certainly when things get expanded, then that's certainly the time to renegotiate and look at, you know, expanding the town representation. But at this point, you know, there hasn't been any real expansion in a long time now. So
And the only other thing I wanted to add is, there came a point during the negotiations that, and the sewer commission as well, realized that our finances are being depleted. We needed municipal solutions to come in and look at it. It took a couple of months for them to do that. The town, during our negotiations with Lori and I, had recommended holding off until we get the deep dive, we call it, done.
Yep.
Right.
The last meeting, the deep dive was completed. James said it's done. Everything looked, our accountant matched up with what Municipal Solutions had.
Yeah, he said it.
Let's get back to the table. We said, great, send us the dates of the emails that you're available, and that's how all our negotiations went. He would start off with an email, what dates the town was available, Lori and I would respond, and we'd meet. And we haven't heard from him at all this month. The only other thing on a side note from that I would like to ask is, are we planning on having Jeff Smith come down and give us a presentation on his outcome?
Yeah, I believe, I don't know about that.
He can phone in
He could
If-
phone
if
in
he could phone
again,
in,
or,
I thought he was
yeah.
gonna phone in just to, because he gave us the documents, and it's,
Right.
Yeah.
again, we're laymen, it's been nice to have
Yeah,
him.
no, we could have him be on the phone call again.
Yeah. Okay.
And walk us all through it, but yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Okay, that's all I have, thank you.
Should we set a deadline for the town to comply? Otherwise, maybe we bring a legal action against the town.
So that's something I think that we have to discuss with Joe as to what
Yep.
steps we can take, what options we have, because at this point, you know, we're not, our hands are tied, as best I understand it, until they're willing to work with us on this. So we're in dire straits financially.
Yeah, we gotta do
And we have to
something.
do something. And one of the things is they need to acknowledge our budget, the
Yeah.
sewer commission budget, and they've never acknowledged that. So we need to move forward in all of this. The other thing is, they've never done any of their appointments for the seats that they do currently have, which is 2 voting seats
Mhm.
and an alternate. And right now, there's no appointments to this commission to date. So, you know,
We've had 3 meetings
Oh,
so far this year with no representation.
I mean, I
Right.
might suggest that we give them a short fuse at this point, and otherwise we have to take some other action. I don't know if we have any other alternatives at this point.
all right, so I think what's best is if we ask Joe to look at what options we have.
What avenues you have
Yeah.
to kind of force them back to the
Yep.
table.
Yeah?
Thank you, Sarah. John, do you have anything else?
No.
Arthur?
I just, I'm glad you guys brought it up that you watched the meeting. I said it last time to James also. I feel like he's pitting us against the town. He keeps saying he's gotta do for his constituents. We are his constituents.
Yes, we
I
are
just-
in the town.
What does he think, we're gonna hurt the town? It makes no sense to me. I told him last time, I don't understand what he's thinking here.
Yeah.
Unless it's about control, he wants control of the board, I don't know.
He
think
does
he's
leave
wrong.
it
I think he's wrong.
the impression that it's the village versus the
Yeah,
town,
it's, we're all together here,
yeah,
you know, it
we're
makes
all
no sense to
town
me.
taxpayers.
Yeah.
We are located in the
And
town,
to hold us
we're town
hostage now.
residents along with
Yeah.
village residents.
That's why I
so-
wanna know if we can, he's holding us hostage, if we can vote and just raise the rates, we have to raise the rates, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's gotta be done.
And it's important to note that we are the elected officials for the village as trustees.
Correct.
When we're here, we're on the sewer commission.
That's right.
It's
That's
different
what we
hat.
did, right.
We're looking out for Route
I wouldn't be
22.
here. Yeah, I
We're
wouldn't be
looking
here
out,
to
we're doing a
hurt the
project
town.
up on
I'm a
Reservoir Road.
resident. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, Cedar
I'm here
Valley,
for
we're
them.
trying to get that nailed down. So it's the sewer users, we want the users, we wanna get up to
Exactly,
capacity.
yeah.
Right. Right.
Thank you, Arthur. Steve, do you have anything?
I don't have anything that would be repetitive at this point.
Okay. All right. Christine, do you have anything? Okay. Sarah,
No,
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for stepping in for us.
Oh,
I
no
appreciate
problem.
that.
It was my first sewer commission meeting.
Thank you.
So can I get a vote to go into public comment?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Do we have any public comment? Nope, we don't. Okay, seeing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Bring up John, I'm gonna throw
Good
this
night.
chair out first
Thank
chance I
you.
get.
Bye.
I was going down, my
Oh, I
knees are
thought you were
going
saying-
up.